Hi there, welcome back to the Python Mastery Crash Course. I'm Gority Golden, and this is a continuation of the lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. And this video, we are going to mainly focus on the dictionaries, so let's dive right in. So dictionaries are a collection of key value pairs that allow you to store and manipulate data efficiently. They are similar to lists, but instead of indexing by numbers, you can access the values using their corresponding keys. Now let's see how to create a dictionary. Well, you can create a dictionary using the dict function or the dict constructor, or you can also use the curly brackets, and the common approach is use of the curly brackets. So for example, let's say that you want to create a dictionary that is going to store the name of a person, the city, and then the age. So the first thing that you always have to do is to, first of all, define the variable that is going to store the dictionary. So for example, we can have the variable as person details, and then we are going to go ahead and assign it the dictionary. And by use of the curly brackets, you first of all open up or create an empty curly bracket. Now, since we are interested in creating a dictionary, you always have to create the keys and the values. So regarding dictionaries, you always have to create the keys and the values, and these are always key value pairs. So the keys are unique identifiers, or you can also call them labels, that are used to access and store values in a dictionary. So generally the keys are always of type strings, integers, or even other immutable types. And each key in a dictionary must be unique, meaning that you cannot have duplicate keys. And the keys are always used to look up values in the dictionary. And then on the other hand, the values are the exact data or the objects that are associated with each key in a dictionary. And the values can be of any type of object, like the strings, the integers, floats, lists, dictionaries, and many more. So values can be duplicated, meaning that multiple keys can have the same value. And the values are always retrieved from a dictionary using their corresponding keys. So to continue with our dictionary, we are going to have keys of type string. For example, a key to store the name, and then the way we pass in the value for each key is by use of the colons. And then the value, in this case, since it's going to be a name of a person, the name is going to be of type string. And then okay, we can keep it precise. So the name can be John. That is the first key value pair. Then we can have the next key to store the age. And also the age is going to be of type string. So this is age. So you go ahead and define the key as age or the label. But commonly, it's always better if you call it a key instead of a label. So then the value for the age. So since a person's age can be like 23, 21, 18, and plus, that means that the age generally is always of type int. So the value for this age can be maybe 28. Then for each key value pair, you always have to go ahead and add a comma. And then we move to the next key value pair. So for the last one, you can have a city and then its value. So a city is a word, meaning that it can also be of type string. So we can say this one is from Uganda. So having defined our dictionary, we can go ahead and have it printed. So this is the person details. So when I run the program, you can see that our output is actually the dictionary itself as it has been defined. Now that you have a dictionary, let's see how to access its values. You can access the dictionary values using their corresponding keys. For example, if you want to print the name of this person, which is John, and same applies to the age, you can go ahead and access the print function And for you to be able to access the dictionary values, the first thing that you always have to do is to access the dictionary itself, and in this context it is the person details. So having you access the dictionary, you follow it up by accessing the square brackets, and this is because you want to go ahead and access the key. So whenever you access the keys, it gives you access to the values in this context. So you access the square brackets, and then you can see that automatically it lists the keys that we have defined for this dictionary. So in this one, you want to go ahead and access the name. And then we can also have this done for all these other keys. So instead of the name, we can pass in the age. And then lastly, we can also pass in the location. My bad, we can pass in the city. And having accessed these keys, we can go ahead and test the output. So you can see that we are having the values outputted, and for the key name, we are having the value as John, and then for the key age, we are having the value as 28, and then for the key, which was the city, we are having the value as Uganda. So it's also quite similar to cases whereby you are trying to access the values using a customized output. For example, if you wanted to go ahead and print the output as I am John, I am this much old, and I am from maybe Uganda. Oh wait, so we are having the city as Uganda, my bad. I think we can have the city updated to Kampala. Sorry about that. And let's say that we wanted to output this as I am John, I am 20 years old, and I am from Kampala. As simple as that. So we can have this customized by working with the print function, and then I'm going to go ahead and access the f-string formatter. And within the f-string formatter, there can be different approaches. You can always directly access the dictionary and the key. For example, by saying I am, then instead of us statically defining the name of this person by saying I am John, we know that the value John can be extracted from our dictionary, just like how we did on line 15. So I'm going to copy this up and work with the curly brackets such that we pass in the exact value. So this is I am John. And then sometimes you can always have other variables defined such that you can access, for example, the age instead. So the age value is going to be stored within the age variable. So such that in this sentence we are having I am John and I am, then you pass in the age, I am 28 years old, and then after that we can go ahead and say and I stay in okay, so we are having this, so and I stay in. Then for the city we can just have this scoped out, or you can still define the variable, but for you to have clean code, it is better you just copy the same snippet that has been defined and pass it in here. And I stay in this city, and the fact that this is going to be a value, you go ahead and pass in the curly brackets, and then you can have this switched up to the other line. So having done this, having customized this sentence, you can still go ahead and test this out to look at the final sentence. So we are having unterminated f string detected at line 2020. Okay, so we can have this pulled up here such that it is on the same line to keep it precise. So this is the output. I am John and I am 28 years old and I stay in Kampala. and that is a precise approach of how you can customize and also access the values within the dictionary. Now let's see how to update dictionary values. You can update the dictionary values using their corresponding keys. For example, let's say that you wanted to update Johnny's age to maybe 31. So the first thing that you always have to do with updating is, first of all, accessing the dictionary, and then you ensure that you access the key for the value to which you want to update. So in this one, we are going to update the age. That means that we have to access the age key. So you access the square brackets and then you pass in the age key, and then you assign it to the new value. So we are going to update the age to 35, and having updated it, you go ahead and print out the output. For this one, you go ahead and print out the new dictionary. So now you can see that having updated Johnny's age, it is 35 instead of 28. Now let's see how to add new dictionary values. For example, let's say that you wanted to add, or we wanted to actually keep track of the country from which John comes from. So the first thing that you always have to do is accessing the dictionary, and this is the person's dictionary. And since we want to keep track of Johnny's country of residence, that means that we have to create a new key for the dictionary. So you first of all access the brackets, and then you go ahead and add the quotes such that you pass in a new key. So the new key is going to be the country, and then for the value, we are going to assign this to Uganda since our city was Kampala. Then having done that, you can go ahead and also have this printed out. So you can see that the country key has also been added there. So now let's see how to remove the dictionary values. So you can remove the dictionary value using the del statement, or you can also use the pop method. For example, let's say that we want to remove Johnny's age. So regarding the first approach, del is also a keyword that comes with Python. So the first thing that you have to do is accessing this keyword, and then you follow it up with a dictionary, which is the person's details. And in this one, you want to go ahead and delete or remove the age. And having passed in this key, we go ahead and reprint our new dictionary. Then we can also test this out. So you can see that the age key and the value are no longer inclusive in our dictionary, having performed that operation. So the other approach is use of the pop method, which is used to remove and return the value of a specified key. For example, if you wanted to remove the country, so the first thing that you have to do is accessing the dictionary, and then for us to be able to access the pop function, you have to know that it comes by default for any dictionary that has been created. So you access the period operator, and then you can see that the pop function is listed. Then you go ahead and access it. So in this one, you want to go ahead and pass in the key for the country. So you pass in the key, and having us perform that operation, we can go ahead and print our new dictionary. So you can now see that also the country has been deleted from our dictionary. Dictionaries have several methods that you can use to manipulate and access data. For example, let's start with the first one as the keys method. So the keys method is always used to access the keys of the dictionary that has been created. For example, let's try to access this function on our person details key. So you access the dictionary, then you go ahead and access the period operator, and then you can see that the keys function does exist. So having done that, we can go ahead and test this out as well. So you can see that currently we are left with only two keys, and that is the name and the city. Then just like keys, we also have the values method, which is always used to return all the values that do exist within the dictionary. So it's quite similar to how we access the keys. So the difference is in the function that we use. So we only have to update this to values, and then we can go ahead and print out the output. So in this one, you can see that the values that we do have are John and then Kampala that have been extracted from our dictionary. Then we can also work with the items function, and it's also similar to how we accessed these other functions. So you only have to update this to the items instead. And now you can see that with the items function, it goes ahead and prints out each key value pair within the dictionary. So the first key value pair we have is this of the key for the name and then the value as John, and then the key for the city and then the value for the city, which is Kampala. So we can also try to work with the clear function. So we are going to have this updated to clear and then have the program tested. So now you see that when we access the clear function on our dictionary, it goes ahead and clears up all the items in the dictionary, meaning that the dictionary becomes emptied. So when we actually try to reaccess the dictionary, persons.details, you can now see that the dictionary is now empty. So you can access any other method and try to see how it works in terms of the dictionary methods. And that's it for today's video on dictionaries in Python. I hope you learned something new and useful. Dictionaries are a fundamental data structure in Python, and understanding how to use them is crucial for any Python programmer. Thanks for watching, and see you again in the next session.